In 2023, this little movie came out called the Super Mario Brothers movie, and the film went on to make $1.36 billion. Wow. Obviously one of the biggest movies of the year. And so, of course, we're going to get a sequel. It took 3 years, almost exactly 3 years. And this week, that sequel arrives in theaters. Will it do as well? Let's talk about it. Hey, everybody, I'm Sean McBride, the movie guy. And let's talk about that new movie, Mario Brothers Galaxy.
Hey, big guy!
Oh,
You wanted to see us?
don't move, I'll be right up. Hey, Luigi! What's up, Mario? Behold! I made a masterpiece for Princess Peach. What do you think?
Love the colors.
It's trash.
How dare you look at my masterpiece and say that?
I'll burn the skin off your bones!
Wow. Sorry about that. That's the old Bowser talking. Still working through my demons, I suppose.
So let's get into the story of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Turns out that Princess Rosalina is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., so her sister Princess Peach and Toad head off to save her, which is why Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi go after Peach, and then they're joined by Bowser Sr., who is reformed, and in this movie he's one of the good guys now. Okay, did you understand that plot description? More importantly, do you know who these characters are? Because if you don't, this is not a movie for you. But if you do, and I suspect a lot of people really do know those characters, then there's something to be said for you going to see this new movie. The bottom line is that for legions of gamers who played this game as a kid, or for those who might still be playing it, this ends up being a series of action sequences where our silly band of heroes head out to literally save the universe and maybe enjoy some basic family bonding along the way. So the appeal of this movie is that it's going to call out to those who grew up playing Mario Brothers, right? And also, because they have grown up, also to their kids who might be playing it now. And that's an interesting needle to thread here, because you've got moms and dads who played the game who want to communicate that love of the game to their kids. And so that's why I do think this movie is still going to work very well here. I'll tell you right now, the animation looks really good here. They do the 3D stuff. If you remember, Illumination, which is the animation company behind this, they're mostly known for doing all the Minion stuff. And quite frankly, their stuff has been a little flat. It certainly hasn't been on par with the best stuff we've seen from like Pixar or Walt Disney. But I think their animation is getting better. I think this movie moves at a breakneck pace. It's aimed at the kids, let's face it. So you get like little moments of drama and humor, and then we get to the action. And none of those are more than, I mean, some of those dramatic scenes may not even last more than a couple of minutes, and then we get to the action here. So it's fast-paced, it's bright, it's colorful. That's pretty much exactly you want for a kid-friendly movie like this. Now, the other thing you want is big actors doing big characters with lots of big humor and pratfalls and stuff like that. And I'll let you know here, I don't think they succeeded quite as well this time around. You still got a really big name cast here. So we got Chris Pratt and Charlie Day back playing Mario and Luigi. You got Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach and Jack Black as Bowser. Those are the big ones, but it's a really nice cast. And I don't think they're doing anything particularly special here. They're just kind of going through the paces. That's especially true when you think about last movie where we had both Donkey Kong, but especially Bowser had a musical number here. And Jack Black just sold that. And it was the highlight of the movie. It doesn't have anything nearly as special this time around. It's a big comic performance. Not saying it was bad, but I just didn't think they did anything above and beyond. And I kind of was looking for that in this movie. Now, speaking of the music, I do think the music is a lot of fun here. There's lots of nostalgic, the game themes that you'll hear. And if you played those games, it may put a smile on your face going, oh, I know exactly where that music comes from. And also all the little sound effects here, so you frequently, like they jump on a turtle and you get that sound effect, I mean, you hear all those sound effects that will remind you of the gameplay. Of course they did that. That's very nostalgic. That's very good. But once again, where's the original songs? I wanted some of that original music. I wanted the music to take this and elevate this above what the rest of the movie is. And they just didn't try and do that this time around, which is a very odd choice to me because I thought that was one of the highlights of the last film. Now, as for the story, it's kind of divided up into three main story parts here. I think that's a bit of a problem. You obviously have Princess Peach and Toad going off, and then you have Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi and their adventure. And then you also have Bowser. He starts off with Mario and Luigi, but then he's with Bowser Jr. It's kind of a father-son reuniting thing here. Three different main stories here, and I kind of wish they'd been more together all the way through this. Towards the end, they do get together, and I guess that's kind of fun, and that's certainly more satisfying here. It just seemed like a lot of side quests as opposed to one main story with an actual thrust to it. I think also, there's some interesting stuff with some characters. It's nice, we see Yoshi, but Yoshi just kind of appears and then he's there. And I do appreciate that, one of the Toads says, "Oh, look, you brought back a dinosaur, and now he's just part of the group." Oh, well, who thought? That's good for him. That's cool. And that's exactly the attitude here. We don't get Yoshi's origin story here. Similarly, it may have been spoiled if you've been watching the internet, you may know this, but another character appears here, and that should be very exciting. That should be something that makes you go, wow, I kind of want to see more with that character, but it's been spoiled, and so you may already know what that is here. So I'm not going to spoil it here, but if you do, I think it's kind of cool to go in not knowing that character is going to show up here. So look, the bottom line here with the story, it's all over the place. It's just not focused. It is all about those quick little hits of action and humor. And while I, as a grown-up, wish we had more of an actual story, I understand that kids will probably be fine with that. I do like the animation, but I do wish that the story, the music, the performances, everything else was bigger. And quite frankly, it feels kind of like they're just going through the paces as opposed to giving us something special. I didn't like this one as much as I liked the first Super Mario Brothers movie. So I'm going to give Super Mario Galaxy movie 2.5 stars out of 4. I think that your enjoyment of this movie will come down to the age that you are. I think that if you've got kids, particularly kids that are elementary school age, I think they'll enjoy this more. They'll probably give it a 3-star rating, shall we say, because there's stuff that's aimed right at them, and it's a movie that's meant to appeal to the kids, so I'm not going to fault it for that. If you're a grown-up, though, if you're someone hoping to reconnect with the nostalgia of playing these games in your younger days, I think you might get a little bored here. It's just, there's not much for the adults here. There's not even any real in-jokes. There's some Easter eggs, but there's nothing there that makes me as an adult go, oh, I know what that is, and I only know that because of my experience here. So I think adults will be bored, but their kids will love it. And for a family movie, sometimes that's the trade-off. Parents just want to see their kids happy. So I think they'll enjoy it here, even though I didn't think it was the greatest movie. But hey, that's me. What did you think about Super Mario Galaxy? Leave your comments below. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you get my reviews just as soon as they come out. And check out the podcast. It's called Two Movie Guys. Every week we get together and we chat about all of the week's big new movies. It's called Two Movie Guys, and you can find it anywhere you get your podcasts. So to be honest, the only big movie hitting theaters this week is Super Mario Galaxy movie here. But there are a couple of other ones to talk about, including a pretty good comedy. But coming up next, we've got Zendaya, we've got Robert Pattinson. We'll talk about the drama coming up next. We'll see you then. Bye.